You know what absolutely grinds my gears? WWE just handed Stephanie Vaquer the Crown Jewel Championship, and Triple H is parading around like he just discovered the next Roman Reigns. Meanwhile, homegrown talent who've been bleeding for this company are sitting in catering watching someone who's barely been here 5 minutes get the red carpet treatment. I'm calling it right now, this is the biggest slap in the face to every wrestler who's been grinding in NXT and on the main roster for years. But before you lose your mind in the comments, let me break down exactly what happened at Crown Jewel 2025, because this situation is way more controversial than WWE wants you to believe. Stephanie Vaquer walked into Crown Jewel as the underdog nobody saw coming. Fresh off her arrival from the independent scene where she made waves in promotions across Japan and Mexico, WWE positioned her as the next big thing. And at Crown Jewel, she didn't just win, she dominated. The match was an absolute clinic of technical wrestling, high-flying maneuvers, and pure heart that had the Saudi Arabian crowd on their feet. The moment that final bell rang, Triple H himself walked down that ramp with the Crown Jewel Championship in hand. The King of Kings, the man who built NXT from the ground up, personally placed that title around Vaquer's waist. He raised her hand, the pyro exploded, and the wrestling world collectively lost its mind on social media. But here's where it gets interesting. While Vaquer was celebrating with Triple H, cameras caught the reactions backstage. Multiple superstars who'd been campaigning for their shot at glory just stood there, stone-faced, watching this moment unfold. The body language told a story WWE didn't want you to see. This wasn't just jealousy, this was rage simmering beneath the surface. Now, let's talk about why Triple H made this move, because love him or hate him, the game doesn't do anything without a master plan. Stephanie Vaquer represents something WWE desperately needs right now, fresh blood with instant credibility. Her reputation preceded her arrival. She's wrestled against the best women in the world across multiple continents. She speaks multiple languages, connecting with WWE's global audience in ways few can. Triple H sees in Vaquer what he saw in the Four Horsewomen years ago, that undeniable IT factor, the technical prowess of a Bret Hart, the charisma of a young Shawn Michaels, and the work ethic that reminds everyone of Eddie Guerrero. By putting the Crown Jewel Championship on her, he's not just crowning a champion, he's making a statement about the future direction of WWE. Quick question for you, do you think WWE is pushing international talent too fast, or is this exactly what the company needs? Drop your answer below. The Crown Jewel Championship itself has become one of the most prestigious titles in WWE's modern era. Created to honor the partnership between WWE and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, this isn't some throwaway trophy. Winners of this championship get main event status, lucrative contracts, and the creative push that superstars would kill for. Previous champions have gone on to headline WrestleMania, win Royal Rumbles, and cement their legacies. For Vaquer to capture this title in her first Crown Jewel appearance is absolutely unprecedented. It's the kind of rocket push that usually takes years to earn. And that's exactly why so many people are divided on this decision. Let's address the elephant in the room, the backlash. Social media erupted after this victory. Fans are split down the middle. One camp is celebrating WWE finally pushing someone with legitimate international credibility who can work circles around half the roster. The other camp is furious that homegrown talent is being overlooked for yet another indie darling with a fancy resume. The criticism isn't entirely unfounded. Look at the women who've been grinding in WWE's system for years. Athletes who came through the Performance Center, paid their dues in NXT, worked house shows in front of 50 people in high school gyms, and slowly climbed the ladder. Many of them are still waiting for their moment. Then Vaquer shows up and gets the golden ticket on what seems like day one. But is that really what happened? Let's dig deeper, because the narrative isn't as simple as WWE buries homegrown talent again. Stephanie Vaquer didn't just show up yesterday. While she's new to WWE, she's been perfecting her craft for over a decade across the globe. She's held championships in CMLL, one of Mexico's most historic promotions. She's torn down the house in Japan's Stardom promotion, facing legends and future Hall of Famers. Her resume reads like a greatest hits album of women's wrestling. When WWE signed her, they didn't sign a rookie, they signed a veteran who happens to be new to their specific ring. There's a massive difference. The company recognized they had lightning in a bottle and decided to strike while the iron was scorching hot. In today's wrestling landscape where fans have access to matches from around the world, Vaquer already had name recognition before her WWE debut. Here's another one for the comments. Who's one wrestler you think deserves this kind of push right now? I'm reading every single comment, asterisk. The celebration with Triple H wasn't just a photo opportunity, it was a passing of the torch moment. Hunter has always been about respecting the business, honoring those who've paid their dues in different territories. By personally celebrating with Vaquer, he was signaling to the entire locker room and fanbase that her victory was legitimate and earned. Critics might say this undermines years of storytelling and character development for other wrestlers. Fair point. But consider this alternative perspective: Vaquer's win opens up new storylines. Suddenly, you have hungry veterans and rising stars with a legitimate reason to chase. The tension in that locker room? That's money. That's compelling television. That's what creates the kind of heat that sells pay-per-views and drives streaming numbers. The match itself deserves recognition beyond the controversy. Vaquer's opponent brought everything they had, and together they delivered a match that will be talked about for years. Technical sequences that made veteran wrestlers take notes. Near falls that had fans on the edge of their seats. A finishing sequence so crisp that even the harshest critics had to acknowledge the talent on display. When that referee's hand hit the mat 4-3, Stephanie Vaquer didn't just win a championship, she validated every sacrifice she'd made in her career. Every grueling tour, every injury worked through, every moment of doubt when she wondered if she'd ever get this opportunity. That's the story WWE wants to tell. Now, about the future, and this is where it gets really interesting. Vaquer as Crown Jewel Champion opens up dream matches we never thought possible in WWE. Imagine her defending against established champions from Raw and SmackDown. Picture the international tours WWE can now book with a champion who can cut promos in multiple languages and has existing fanbases across continents. Triple H is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. This isn't just about one title reign, it's about positioning WWE for global expansion in ways we haven't seen since the Attitude Era went worldwide. But let's bring it back to the controversy, because I know some of you are still heated. The question everyone's asking: did Stephanie Vaquer deserve this win, or was it given to her? Last question before we wrap this up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does this win bother you? Be honest in those comments. Here's my take after breaking down everything. WWE made the right business decision, even if it wasn't the most popular decision with hardcore fans who've been following specific storylines for years. Sometimes companies need to make moves that shake things up, that create legitimate controversy and conversation. And brother, they definitely achieved that. Stephanie Vaquer's Crown Jewel Championship win with Triple H by her side is either the beginning of a legendary title reign or the spark that ignites the most heated rivalries we've seen in years. Either way, WWE has our attention. They've got us talking, debating, and tuning in to see what happens next. The celebration might be over, but the real story is just beginning. Every champion who's watching knows they now have a target. Every rising star sees an opportunity. And Stephanie Vaquer? She's got the weight of expectations, criticism, and championship gold on her shoulders. If you made it this far, you're clearly as invested in this as I am. Make sure you're subscribed to Wrestling Zone 1 because we're covering every development in this story. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. And most importantly, get down in those comments and let me know where you stand on this whole situation. Wrestling isn't just about what happens in the ring, it's about how it makes us feel. And right now, Stephanie Vaquer has the entire wrestling world feeling something. Whether that something is excitement, anger, hope, or frustration, one thing's for certain: we'll all be watching to see what she does next with that crown jewel.